Cosmos and Forbes. I'm going to moderate just a brief Q&A, and then we'll get to the food and beverages. What I'd like to do, because obviously, I'm sure you've had this discussion before, what's wrong with our industry? What is the problem? They've obviously, you've already tried to answer the question, so we're not going to really go into that again. Sorry, but what I'd like to do instead is sort of kick it fast forward into really, I find, what was the crux of the argument in there, which was about the audiences, and how are we not reaching the audiences? And Marva, I want you to try and answer that for us a little bit in your experience, because you've got such a wealth of experience, and that's where I want to start with the audience.
I think one of the problems is, in terms of Canadian audiences, is that I think that we're just not marketed to. There's a wealth of films out there that we all love. I think Canada is known as an incredible movie-going community. But unfortunately, what we're not getting in the theaters is Canadian content. What do we do about that? I think, as you can see from this film and from the research that we've done, is that we understand that the theaters aren't ours for the asking. It's not a matter of whether or not we have good quality films in order to access the theater. It's whether or not we have the support, as in American support, to put our own Canadian films in Canadian theaters. So my thing is that you have to change the way we market to that audience, market to our own. As Cameron said, if you take a film out of the mainstream and take it into the small communities in terms of the smaller films, sorry guys, if you take it outside of say Toronto, Vancouver, the mainstream, you find that it's the Canadian films that do well. And the reason for that is because the communities start seeing themselves reflected. And we all know, you see something up on the screen that speaks to your background, speaks to your story, speaks to your experience, is that you feel that intimate connection. I think that that's what we need to do, is that we need to find a way to start speaking to those audiences out there. What I want to do with Made in Canada is that I really want to start what I call the Have You Seen a Canadian Film Lately campaign. The whole idea is to use the social media and the network provided by the web to start getting something happening. I'm actually going to start Twittering, because I think that if Marva, who likes to stay in the background, is actually going to get out there and start doing that. Because I think if we have something to say, we just cannot be silent anymore. That is the elephant in the room. We cannot fight a system that has been exist. Flora MacDonald did. She tried to get the laws changed. Just as Canadian music had the opportunity to start putting more CanCon and radio, she tried to get the same thing in the theaters for Canadian films. It didn't work. So I don't want to get political that way, because I'm not bent that way, but I can make a lot of noise about something I like. And if it takes me getting on Twitter to start doing that, and then that's what I'm going to do.